Hey guys, so today I'm going to go through why LLMs hallucinate. And what I mean by LLMs is large language models. So stuff like ChatGPT or Gemini by Google or Anthropic's Claude. So these are like large language models. They kind of like form the foundation of a lot of the AI stuff you hear about nowadays. It's like generative AI. And I feel like if you know like the basics of this, it'll really help you understand stuff around AI, and it's actually going to be a benefit when you're actually needing to implement this into your business or life or whatever. So I'm going to explain it as simply as possible because I'm not a technical person. That's why I'm kind of like trying to make this as simple as possible for like business owners or just general everyday people or students or whatever. So let's get into it. So if you want a simple answer, why LLMs hallucinate is that they guess. It's kind of like a guess. And why that happens is, so basically how LLM memory works is, as many people know, training. These large language models are like using a lot of training data, like millions of books, the whole internet. They're always going through all this data, like millions of people's like feeds on Facebook or Reddit or whatever. Like so much data is going into them, and the more they keep needing more and more of this data to actually feed their algorithm. To actually improve these models and therefore like decrease the chances of hallucination and so on. So I'm going to give you an example of how that works. Like technically, at least these particular models don't actually know the answer. It's based on patterns. So the patterns of their training data and how that training data was used. So I'm going to give an example. So when someone says, "What's the capital of France?" It's a pretty simple prompt that you might prompt into ChatGPT. The next word in the training data is often Paris, which obviously is right. So that's basically how an LLM works. And for something like this is an easy prompt. It's seen this in their training data because it's gone through like so much all over the internet and everything. This is an easy one. So it's very rare that it actually hallucinate and that. It's more when you get into more complications. So it actually doesn't, the LLMs don't actually know factually that Paris is the actual capital of France. They don't know like for 100% positivity that it is. It's just they statistically feel the likelihood of it being Paris is high. So it's statistical memory that this is based on, not actual factual. Because it's seen this, statistically this word comes after this type of prompt. It doesn't even have to be this exact prompt, but this type of prompt so much that it actually says, well, this is likely the answer, so I'm going to give the answer. But as I said, it's not always as simple as a prompt as this, and that's why it hallucinates. So if it hasn't seen this information enough, or it's new, it oftentimes guesses wrong. So if it's asked a question that is pretty rare, or there's not like a lot of information that's been trained on, or hasn't really seen that information enough, like, and I'm talking about like it needs to be seen like almost millions of times to decrease the chance of hallucination. If it usually guesses it wrong or hallucinates, which is basically makes up answers. It's just like if you're putting in information into the ChatGPT and it gives you information and you just kind of know that's wrong. Like it's like the ChatGPT or whatever the LLM is, they don't actually tell you, oh, I'm not sure of that answer or whatever. They actually give you the wrong information. Now they're trying to obviously cut down on these hallucinations, but these happen because there's so much training data they need to get. They need to increase the amount of training data. So it's kind of like these more like, not even edge cases, but these cases that these particular prompts don't come up as much, that it kind of gets the answer wrong. And how we can actually use this, so you can actually create your own ChatGPT, which is like a mini knowledge base for you personally or for your business or whatever. So that's why we can actually use these foundational models, but on our own training data and actually improve the answer. So it gives us the correct answer for our particular use case because we provided with the knowledge that we need it trained on. So that's why you can use it in your business, or for a student, you can maybe put textbooks into this so you can kind of get the answer. It'll help your learning, help improve memory. And this is like basically these LLMs basically form the underlying effort of like all the new types of automation you can do for business or whatever. So I think this is very valuable. So let's get into that's like why we use RAG, and I'm going to explain exactly what RAG is now in a moment. But when we use RAG, it basically improves the chances of us getting the right answer on our own training, on the information that we provide the LLMs. So I'm going to kind of go into like some of the simpler basic things of LLMs and like creating your own training data. So stuff like what is a token, what are credits, or a little bit more complex, but what are vectors? So you can kind of get like just a general but simplistic overview of all this kind of stuff. So I'll just put that up on the board and let's get started on that.